Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another MyTeam video here on the channel today. If you haven't seen last episode, then go check it out as there are some spoilers here in today's video. But yeah, we are signing a new sponsor. Actually, we are just re-signing with Slingshot Fuel. And we have to do a new car reveal because this was only for the first race. The rest of the season the car is going to look like this, and I think this is much better. The red and the yellow, it just combines completely like it should. Of course, last race we had an engine issue, our gearbox fell off. So we have to take a new one. That's the second of the season already. And we are going to spend some more money. We still have 16 million in the bank, and I feel like the experience of Carlos Sainz isn't great enough. So let's push that as well. For the rest, we don't need to do anything else. We just need to continue in time towards the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. If I get a pole position this season, I feel like this is the best chance. This is just my fastest track, or one of the fastest, maybe Zandvoort as well. But let's find out what we can do in this qualifying today. Of course, like every weekend, we have to start with qualifying. And as you can see, Q1 is underway. Everybody has set their time already, or the most of the guys have done that. And we are now coming out of the pits to make sure that we will be in the top 16, just like every other weekend, to fight for the championship. Of course, last weekend we didn't get a single point. Our teammate won the race and is in a lead with 26 points at the moment. Can he do the same again? Let's find out as we are going miles off the apex into turn 1. No, not turn 1. We are going into turn 1 right now as we are crossing the line to start our first lap. It probably won't be our only lap as we are now entering turn 1 and turn 2. Taking a bit of caution. Of course, still it's only Q1 and I feel like we are fast enough to not be on the limit in Q1. To save the car a bit for the later stages of qualifying. 8 tenths quicker than Robert Schwarzman at the moment, just in sector 1 alone. So I feel like we should be safe as we are continuing this lap. Coming into the final corner, you can see this time we are a bit closer to the apex. Of course, we did do it on purpose because we got the extra long run into turn 1. Crossing the line is only P5, still 4.5 tenths of George Russell. It's not the worst, but I feel like I can go faster, so that's what we are doing at the moment. As you can see, already gaining a tenth in the first 2 corners, gaining even more in the second, no, still in the first sector, going off track, but hey, the game counts it, so let's just say that it is legal. Purple first sector, that's great to see, as we are 2 tenths faster than George Russell at the moment. He is in P3. And at the end of this lap, we are 7 tenths faster. I feel like this should be enough to get P1. Well, at least, yeah, in Q1 at least. I don't think we can get this in Q3 as the final corner. Oh my god. Why? I got a, let's take another look. Final corner, here we go. And it looks like we just have a bit of oversteer and we corrected too much, which puts us into the wall. No worries there, because still 7 tenths, I would be on P1 or P2. Still it's only Q1, so no worries. As you can see, P6 for us. McLaren driver then takes him in P2, as our teammate is still the fastest. This guy is absolutely insane. As you can see, the usual is out. I don't think there are any surprises there. So yeah, let's move on into Q2, as there will be a bit more spice as well. P16 at the moment, starting our first lap. Once again, waiting a bit because I don't want to ruin 2 sets of tires in the same session. And if the first lap isn't good enough, then I already know, because everybody is already in the system with their time. So first and second of the lap is already completed as we are exiting the first sector. As you can see, it's a green first sector with a 32.01 second faster than Yuki Tsunoda in the Mercedes. He got a podium actually last race, so not too bad from him. He will probably go out once again to make sure that he's in the top 10 as well. But we are now closing our final, our first lap. I'm sorry, I'm making so many mistakes as well in commentary, as well in the car already, because I saw that I already touched the wall immediately checked for some damage. Luckily there wasn't. Maybe there's a tiny bit. In the garage it said like I had 10 seconds to change my front wing, or I needed to wait 10 seconds. P6 in the first lap. Let's put in a second lap as well, because I feel like that should be done to make sure that we can get into Q3. Of course, this time around we don't want to crash into the final corner, so let's just take it easy. Still equal on time coming into the final corner, but we made a huge mistake here. Or at least it felt like a huge mistake. Rounding the final corner, this time no oversteer. And we gain 1.5 tenths, maybe even 2. And that gets us up into a 5th position. So gaining only 1 position, it's a bit faster than we were before. And that is enough for Q3. You can see P8 for us, P4 for my teammate Carlos Sainz. This time around he's not the fastest, it's George Russell actually, with a 3 tenths gap to Daniel Ricciardo. Dan Ticktum is out of qualifying too, so he will be starting in P11, so that will be quite difficult for him to make sure that he can try to win, get a podium, or maybe even just points. But for us, it's still all to play for in this qualifying session. My previous teammate, Oscar Piastri in P16, I don't know what to say about him. He wasn't the greatest driver for us, so we had to change him up. And that decision was great, because we actually got a good teammate now. Of course, last season he did have a good start as well to the season, but he decided to be too expensive for the team, so we couldn't afford him for the second half. I am changing it up a bit, that I have a bit more money now, so I don't worry about that at all. I feel like we should be able to get him for the entire season. Once again, touching the wall, just a gentle touch, but still that could be enough in simulation damage for front wing damage. As you can see, we are going quite well through the first couple of corners, and now we are in the second sector as well. Russell and Liam Lawson have already set their time, and I am continuing my lap to make sure that I am faster than them and that I can start in front of them. Coming to the final straight. No, the final corner we've already had that. We are on the main straight, and it's P2, but still 6 tenths of my teammate. What is this guy doing? Is he in another car? Is he in another league? I have no idea. He should be in the same car as me. But yeah, 2.5 minutes to go. We are in P6, so our lap wasn't the best. Gaining a bit should be enough to get myself up into the top 4. I am aiming for pole position, because of course this is one of my best laps that I can do here. But as we are now coming to the end of our warm-up lap, you can see I slow down a bit to make sure that our tires are up to temperature, gaining a good amount of temperature. In that final bit of weaving, we can start our final lap here and qualifying today. We are in P4. I don't know how that happened, but we are going to follow this entire lap, as you can see, into the first 2 corners, gaining a tiny bit of time. But yeah, that could be enough to just gain 1 position going into the next few corners. As you can see, on the limit we are, as we almost crash into that wall. Luckily we don't, otherwise it would be game over for us and we would start in P4 or lower. But you can see, just in this first sector we already gain half a second. This is just a difference that we need to make sure that we can get ourselves into pole position. 2 tenths faster than Charles Leclerc. I don't know how much faster my teammate is. I feel like we should gain 6-7 tenths to be close to him, 8 tenths to maybe get pole position. Currently we are at half a second. Going into the next part of this circuit. It's quite a tricky circuit because the barriers are really close, but I feel like I have a bit more breathing space compared to Monaco. That's why I love this track and I hate Monaco. Just to drive, maybe also to watch it, because there's just no action. You can see in this second half of the lap we didn't gain that much, only 1 tenth more than the previous lap, and it looks like we are gaining 6 tenths in total. Is it enough to get ourselves pole position? Let's find out, as we are the final driver to cross the line. Is it enough? I don't think so. Do we take pole position? No, unfortunately not, but it's still good enough for P2. So I'm happy with that, still on the front row of the grid. Carlos Sainz got pole position, of course. He is mighty fast, only 6 thousandths faster than Charles Leclerc, so it was a good lap from us. Sainz still in another league. Let's find out what he can do in the race. You can see Perez and Verstappen P5 and P6. I feel like Ferrari could be the most competitive, and Mercedes. McLaren still also in there. but I feel like this should be a spicy season with all the teams so close together.
We're here today on the shores of the Red Sea in the Lower Hejaz Mountains to visit one of the newest circuits on the Formula One calendar. We're in Jeddah, home to what we all hope is going to be a thrilling Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and Lightning completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Max Verstappen, and Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, and Daniel Tickton, Ocon, Gasly, Guan Yu Zhou, and Russell, Mick Schumacher, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, and Kevin Magnussen, Albon, Schwartzman, Stroll, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
So here we go then for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. As you can see, it is a front row logout for the 7even95 racing team. If someone can say that 3 times in a row really fast and uploads it to, I don't know, Instagram or YouTube Shorts and tags me in it, then I'll definitely repost it or do something with it in another video. That would be really funny to see. But let's get into this race. As you can see, predicted pit stop strategy is a medium to hard or soft to medium to hard. So probably everybody is doing medium to hard, or most of the guys are. Let's find out in this race as we are now lining up for the grid to start this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Of course, we haven't been here last year. We have been here the year before and the year before that. So let's find out who can be the race winner here today. You can see the 2 Red Bulls behind me. The 2 Ferraris in this shot as well. It's a beautiful grid we have here today. Let's find out who is going to be the race winner here today for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It's only the 5 lights that keep us waiting. It's 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out and away we go. Quite a good start, but way too much wheel spin. And that loses us P2 and even P3 going into the first corner 3 wide, almost crashing into Charles Leclerc. But we keep P3, of course losing 1 position. But still, my teammate is in the lead, Leclerc and P2, and I feel like P3 is not too bad. Almost getting overtaken by Daniel Ricciardo and getting our first warning as well. We only have 2 tokens. After that, we get a penalty. If we get a penalty, we still have 2 tokens before we get another penalty, but we don't want that penalty. If we get a penalty, it could possibly lose us 2 or 3 positions. Because I feel like this could be quite a good race for everybody. But as you can see, the first lap is done. Our teammate is still in P1 and that's what we like to see. Of course, we want to be in P1 because we want to win the drivers' titles 2 years in a row. But the constructors, we haven't done that yet. So let's do that one this year as well. Hopefully this year there are some regulation changes because yeah, the game hasn't really changed anything since last season. So our car is still quite good. As you can see in P1 and P3, we are the best team at the moment. Still in the lead of the constructor standings and already finishing lap 2. You can see the gap is still 1 second. Putting in a 1:28.933. We are going to be quite fast this race. But I feel like I make too many mistakes. Going deep into turn 1. Doing that. So this isn't our perfect race. I feel like we make too many tiny mistakes to just get that win. Of course, I don't know the result yet because we are only in lap 3. But these mistakes could make it quite difficult for us, as this one as well. These first laps, it was really difficult for me because in between qualifying and the race, for you guys it was maybe a minute. For me, it was more than a week. So I had to get into racing once again because I didn't do anything for more than a week straight. So I had to get into it in the first couple of laps. I don't do practice of this series. So yeah, as you can see, we do miss a bit of speed, we do miss a bit of pace. But luckily, we are once again inside that 1 second gap, and we get for the first time this race DRS. So let's try to stay close with these guys ahead. Purple second sector once again, so we are going quite fast. That's probably because we have DRS. Otherwise, I don't think that would have happened. Still DRS in the second DRS zone of the lap. So that's quite good. Of course, if you get it in the first DRS zone, you probably will overtake somebody in the final one if that other guy doesn't have DRS. But as you can see, once again, this first sector, it's just not that easy. You can lose up to a second if you take one corner wrong, because it puts your car in a weird position for the next one and you lose only more and more time. Lap 6 is already done, so we are flying through this race. Actually, we are not, we are racing, otherwise we would be in the air. So let's not do that, as Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc, ex-teammates in Scuderia Ferrari, are now fighting for the win here. Still, Leclerc in Ferrari, my teammate Carlos Sainz, of course, in 7 even 95 racing. Wow. They are side by side into the next couple of corners, still side by side. You can see me behind them. I just try to take a good line to make sure that I can overtake somebody. But yeah, you can see Carlos Sainz won that battle in our beautiful car. A little bit of a wiggle for Charles Leclerc, but he's still in the race.
And some information on Leclerc. They've got some kind of mechanical problem.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. As you can see, you don't have to tell me that twice, because you can see the first opportunity that we get is immediately taken. We are up to P2. The gap to Sainz is now a bit closer to 1 second, even over 1 second. But we are still inside the DRS zone. So that should be fine. Leclerc dropping back 1.2 seconds already. I think it's something with his straight line speed, because I felt like he changed a lot just in that one straight. But yeah, you can see 1.5 seconds, 1.6 seconds, that gap is growing so much. But the gap ahead is also growing, and that's a bit to worry about. Because I'm no longer in the DRS and he's no longer fighting with somebody else. So he's just driving around and he's in a quite a good pace. Leclerc now in P4 already, losing a position to Daniel Ricciardo, still in the fight with him. But that is easy for us to get ourselves a comfortable lead with our two teammates. And as you can see, lap 12 coming into lap 11. I'm sorry. You can see I am close to Carlos Sainz once again. I try to push a bit more because these tires will be done next lap. I'm coming in next lap. That is something that I can confirm. But as you can see, we are really close once again, and that's something good because we want to gain as much as possible on the cars behind. Of course, we will lose a bit of time. Carlos Sainz locking up because we are putting him under pressure, and this straight I want to overtake him as well, because it's our in lap, not his, so we can push and make sure that we can get a good pit entry to maybe even gain a position during the pit stop phase. But into the first couple of corners we go for the 12th time already. It's quite a good race for us. We are leading the other teams by 8 seconds at the moment. And as you can see, we are still quite close, but the tires are up to 50%. And that's quite dangerous with the amount of mistakes that we are making. Oh no! Oh no! No, 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 no! Oh boy. This is not good for us. As you can see, we spun around. I don't know what happened there. Oh boy, even more problems with our tires. They are probably overheating at the moment, and we are almost getting overtaken by Daniel Ricciardo. He is going for the overtake. Can we hold that second position? Yes, we can. As the gap is now 8 seconds to our teammate. The tires are 97 degrees Celsius. So that's quite hot. So let's get all these tires and of course try to make a comeback to win this race. This was not going to plan. As you can see, Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen into the pits as well. So let's find out if we can do a better pit stop than they can, because we want to stay in P2. I still want to win this race. 8 seconds, it's quite a lot. But if the tire wear is not too high, we can definitely do it, as we are still ahead of Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen. Our pit stop, not the best, still 2.5 seconds. But as you can see, we are now out of the pits once again, and we are racing. The gap to Ricciardo is growing without a reason. I don't know what happened to him at the pit exit. But as you can see, my teammate is now into the pits, and we probably won't overtake him. But let's find out how much time we've lost due to that spin. I guess around 8 seconds, because we were 8 seconds behind before we got into the pits, and I guess that hasn't changed anything in this outlap for us. Tsunoda and Alonso also in the pits at the moment. I think it's Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. Yes, it is. And my teammate, he's already out of the pits, and he is comfortably leading with a lead of 9 seconds even. Perez quite close behind, still 1.5 seconds, so no worries there. The gap is 8 seconds to Carlos Sainz. 12 laps to gain that back. Is it possible? I don't know. Let's just try to push as much as possible. I feel like these tires should easily get to the end. It's only 11 laps, or now even 10 laps only to the end. So we should be fine with getting this to the end in one single piece. A purple third sector, so that's quite good. A green second sector, so that's quite good as well. We are improving step by step. Still, we are the fastest man on track, as we have the fastest lap, and I think we are going to improve that. Yes, we are a 1:28.6, 3 times faster than our previous best lap, and the gap is only 6 seconds. We already gained 2 seconds, but still, 6 seconds is quite a big gap, and if Carlos Sainz decides to up the pace just a tiny bit, it's all over for us. Of course, the gap behind is also quite big, as we put in another purple sector. We are flying in this second half of the race. Perez and Verstappen both on Haas as well. The top 4 is on Haas. Then we have Dan Ticktum in P5, so he's doing a quite a good job as well on those mediums. Of course, trying a different strategy to maybe get another position, but it can all work, of course. A 1:28.5, and we are improving. As we know, our teammate is not doing that fast. His laps are not that fast, as we are the fastest man on track, and that's something good, because the gap has shrunk down to 4.5 seconds. But still, there are only 6 laps left. Can we do it? It all depends if our strategy is good, if we push hard enough, and if we don't spin out for a second time. I felt like the mediums just weren't the tires that I could really use. These tires I trust a bit more, because these tires they feel a bit more comfortable. I feel like I can go through the corners a bit more smoothly, and that should help me, as I am once again in a push lap miles off my apex. So that's not that good. But still, 2 purple sectors. Can we make it 3? It probably won't. No, it's a green sector, but still a 1:28.2. Can we go underneath the 1:28s? Can we go into the 1:27s, not 17s? That would be impossible. You have to skip the first sector maybe and put a straight there. But the gap is now only 1 second. Still, oh boy, there's damage. Just a tiny amount of damage. But the gap is 1.2 seconds. We can't use a flashback, because we don't use that here. And as you can see, the gap is now underneath 1 second. Do we have DRS? Yes, we do. And we need to be a bit cautious with our front wing. Of course, there is still a lot that can happen in these final 3 laps. The gap behind is 13.5 seconds. So we don't have to watch out. And it looks like that's once again another tap. Yes, it is. Once more, we get a bit more damage, as we put in a 1:28.083. And we don't overtake our teammate just yet. I felt like we should stay behind him for 1 more lap to make sure that we still have the pace. Of course, you can see the gap is 8 tenths at the moment. 2 laps to go after this one. And the gap is still with 1 more second. So that is good. The damage isn't that bad. I did feel it. a tiny bit, but as long as we don't touch the wall anymore, we should be fine with getting ourselves a win. It looks like we are just the faster guy of the team this weekend, and we are really close behind our teammate. Only 1/10 is separating us. And now at the exit, you can see going into the penultimate lap. This is our lap. We are going to overtake him. Around the other side we go, and it's us into the lap, not into the lap, Nick. Oh my God, it is the penultimate lap, and we are into the lead. Thank you very much. You can see we are now leading by half a second. We overtook our teammate without that much problem. But you can see out of sector 1 we go, and he is once again here for the lead. Side by side into this long left-hander, and he actually gets it. He has a better exit here, as he did take the racing line. We took a compromise line. To be honest, I don't know why. But yeah, as you can see, he is once again in the lead, almost getting a penalty there, as we have used our 2 tokens for corner cutting. And now I decided to overtake him here already. I think he has DRS, so that's not good at all. We use quite a bit of ERS. Let me know if you guys think it's cheating if I use all my ERS, because we have those upgrades and I can use quite a lot of it. Of course, playing some DRS tactics with my teammate, as he is now in the first position without DRS, and we can now open this fight once again, squeezing through into the lead once again in the final lap. 25 out of 25. You can see the Aston Martin of, I think it's Lance Stroll, in front of us, and there's a yellow flag. I think that's Albon DNFing. Yes, it is, but that's not any relating to our story here today. 1/10 is the difference. Is he going to overtake us into the final corner? Let's find out. It's only 1/10. Is he doing it? Is he doing it? He's going for it. He's going for it. We're side by side, and we do hold the position. We are winning the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix after a spin, after gaining 8 seconds back. We are winners once again after a DNF in the first race. This is a perfect comeback. Of course, for the team it's also perfect because we got a first and second place. Of course, starting in P1 and P2 as well. This just has been an amazing weekend. Driver today is Dan Tickton, so he should be happy as well. Wow.
And that brings the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix to a close as we reflect on the team's impressive performance today. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest? Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race.
As you can see, we are finally on top once again. Of course, the first of many this season. To be honest, I don't even know what is going on for the rest of the season because I haven't recorded any videos just yet. It's currently 8 PM for me at the 4th of March, so you guys know when I'm recording this. And yeah, we get a podium, a 1-2 for the team, 7 even, 95 racing. Once again, let me know if you have tagged me, or just tag me somewhere and I'll see it. Sergio Perez in P3, Max Verstappen in P4, so Red Bull, it's just 7 even 95 racing, Red Bull, Ferrari, and then we have McLaren and Mercedes, so only 5 teams in the top 10. Still a lot of teams who haven't got a single point, but yeah, it's a good result for us as we have taken the first, not our first, the fastest lap as well. A second faster than our teammate. To be honest, it's not because I have put down my AI. It's actually just because I like this track. I feel like I can get into a good flow. And as you can see, we are P2 in the driver standings, shooting up from P22 to P2. So that's quite a good feeling. And in the constructor standings, it's a lead with 23 points over Red Bull. On top, we are with 70 points. That's a great race for us, of course. And the next one is the Australian Grand Prix. If you don't want to miss that, then don't forget to like and subscribe. The support has been massive these last few races. Of course, having 200 subscribers as well. Thank you very much. Let's get on with it. Goodbye.